going live. Thanks to the Google folks. We are live with this Hangout on air, August 3rd, August 4th, if you're in Australia, where it's always tomorrow. Indigenous Peoples Week is taking place right now. I'm Ron Motter. I'm the host of Planeta.com and the person who instigated this unconference madness for the week of August 3rd to the 9th of 2015, Indigenous Peoples Week. Hayden, great to see you. We haven't seen each other for 8 years or so.
It's been quite a while. Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's lovely to see you too. It's good to see that you're still well, healthy and well, and interesting that you've moved from side of America to the other, I guess, south to north.
Exactly. Well, going north. Can you introduce yourself and tell folks how we met?
I can. G'day, everyone. My name is Hayden Bromley. I'm the director of Wiki Australia. Wiki Australia is an Aboriginal owned and operated tourism company. We also distribute Australian foods through South Australia and Northern Territory in Australia, and our consultancy company here as well, which includes things like lecturing at university here in South Australia, lecturing at University in South Australia, and also doing other private consultancy stuff. So, I've now been with the company since 2005, so it's 11 years now. And by way of personal introduction, I'm up in Gully, up in Narungga Gully, Andy. So I come from three parts of Australia, the Flinders Ranges in South Australia, the York Peninsula in South Australia, and the Simpson Desert, tracking right up into Birdsville, so South Australia, right up into South Queensland. So my name is Hayden. I'm firstborn. I'm Northwind in my skin group, and my totem is the Undul, the yellow-footed rock wallaby. Lovely to meet you, everybody.
Knowing you, I still understood, boy, just 25% of that. Good golly. Where do we start? All right, so you're in Adelaide, beautiful Adelaide.
Adelaide, South Australia. That's right. It's beautiful, but wrong time of the year. It's very cold here at the moment.
So the question I have is: are there boring nights in Adelaide?
There are. It's not like Las Vegas. I would love to be. That's one of my wish list, bucket list destinations. So I'll get there eventually.
Oh, it's a great gateway city, and I've been chatting folks from Las Vegas locally, and talking about the things that we like. And you know, the truth of the matter is that Las Vegas, this big energy hog, energy consumer, is doing just heaps of good work, promoting solar energy and renewable energy. And the city will actually host a conference on the Clean Energy Summit at the end of this month. And you know, you just have to give credit to folks that are successful in terms of tourism and making things a little bit greener.
No, that's great. Yes, I agree 100%. It's a good idea for us to have it's nice for us to aspire to be big places, but it's always nice for us to the environment while we're going along our journey.
Now, just to let you know, I don't know if you can hear me garbled, but I'm hearing you a little bit garbled tonight.
Oh, okay. Look, is that any better? My microphone is underneath my.
I don't know if it's.
I don't know.
Again, we'll find out. We'll do this again tomorrow, and we'll do this again Friday, your time.
Sure.
It may be signal strength. Again, we'll figure this out. But I just want to let you know when if I can't hear you, I'll let you know.
Yeah, yeah. You're a bit delayed now, which is interesting. So I'm hearing your audio before your video is catching up.
Understood. Understood. Yeah, we'll see if the audio and the video often don't match. Thanks. Thanks. Thanks, Pacific Ocean. Well, the trick for me is to stay awake with coffee and honey, and and do this 11:30 p.m. Vegas, 4 p.m. Adelaide chat. So you're off by a half hour, or we're off by a half hour. How does that happen?
Yeah. Well, in Australia, different time zones at the moment. The eastern states, they're half an hour ahead of Adelaide, South Australia and Northern Territory, and we're about an hour and a half ahead of Western Australia. So, and that's all about to change in about October next year, where we're aligning with the eastern states. So I don't know how that's going to the width of North America. So we've got a fairly large landmass, and to divide it into 2 time zones is going to be a bit of a challenge.
Fairly large. It's like the size of Pluto.
That's right. Yeah.
I love the superimpositions of Pluto over Australia. It's like, is this a threat or what?
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, I wanted to ask you a question, and it's a simple question. You know, what do you see the future of Aboriginal and Indigenous tourism in Australia?
Oh, look, that's that is a really big question for me. I think at the moment we're not tracking along very smoothly, and the reason why I'm saying that is because our the Aboriginal experience, and I'll use the word Aboriginal because in Australia the word Indigenous has got very negative connotations in terms of a previous Conservative government and how they use that in order to disempower Aboriginal Australians. One of the problems that I see is that at the moment the industry is unregulated, and what I mean by that is anybody who is a commercial tour operator or otherwise can actually put up a shingle and sell an Aboriginal experience or an Aboriginal tour. And what we have is for actually Aboriginal tour operators, and because Aboriginal companies are very small businesses, we're niche, and we don't have the capital or the resources to be able to compete against mainstream tourism operators. Hence, they throw a few Aboriginal pictures on their websites, and through the power of Google and other search engines, they can rank themselves much higher than an Aboriginal operator who has limited resources. The way it manifests itself is here in Australia, what we find is there are a number of non-Aboriginal tour companies, and they are actually selling Aboriginal product better than genuine Aboriginal tour companies. And it's at the expense of the Aboriginal tour companies. So for me, I'm particularly about where we're going, because at the moment, and I've raised this with Tourism Australia, and I've raised it with the South Australian Tourism Commission, at the moment there is no regulation of Aboriginal tourism here in Australia. If you the Aboriginal art industry, we are kind of like merchants of the industry. 25
One second. Again, that was garbled. If we look at the if we look at the art, if we look at the art industry, what? One second. All right. Now, again, I don't understand that the Hangout gods and that give us good access and terrible access. I see you.
Yeah. Now listen, my kitchen has cleared. So why don't I try popping the microphone out and seeing what happens? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you fine.
Great. What I might do is I'll get to the mixer and see if I can boost the microphone.
It's not the volume sound. At some point, and right now it's fine. But before it was garbled, and I don't think it was the microphone. I don't think it's a mixer. But right now it's working. And again, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you when it's garbled because that's what's recorded. And again, slow down. Just if you don't mind, you were talking about the art industry or the art sector.
All right. Sure. I'll go back there. So if you bear with me, I'll try this again. The art industry about 30 years ago was actually emerging, and it was at a point where non-Aboriginal artists were counterfeiting Aboriginal art. So they were actually sitting around their art studios doing fraudulent Aboriginal pieces of Aboriginal artwork and then selling it off as. Did you get all that?
I did. We did.
Oh, brilliant. What ended up happening was it caused the Aboriginal art industry to take a dive. The Australian government stepped in and said, hang on a minute, this isn't right. We need to implement regulations so that we can ensure that Aboriginal art is actually being delivered, is being painted and sold by Aboriginal people.
Okay.
So what they did was they put in a whole lot of measures to protect intellectual property rights of Aboriginal artists, including things like certificates of authenticity that went with artworks to make sure that it was actually a genuine piece of art.
Okay.
What's happened since then is that the art industry has actually been able to blossom.
One sec. Hang on. Can I ask you a favor? In that on the Hangout, can you turn off your camera?
Yeah, I can try that. Yeah, hang on a minute.
Yep.
Is that better?
Let's see. I'm hoping. But
right.
Yeah, you just got garbled again. But go keep on talking, and I'm going to put on. And by the way, I'm going to take a. Let's direct people to the website. Your business is called Bookabee?
That's correct. Bookabee. It's www.bookabee, BOOKABEE,
right.
.com.au. There you go.
Perfect. All right.
Now, I've actually, what I'm talking about now, I've actually blogged a couple of times on my front page on the website, on the blog. So if you scroll down, you'll actually find on there information about that, what makes an exceptional Aboriginal experience. And just before that, there was another one. And what they are doing is they are talking about the essence of Aboriginal product, which is you've got to own it in order to be able to deliver it.
I see. All right. So, are you talking about? All right. So, Bookabee Tours Australia shares the good times in the Flinders.
Yep. That not sure whether that one. Maybe the next blog after that might be the one that actually goes into it. So you might need to back out of that.
We can still give it a +1, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Absolutely.
And so, yeah, where I've been following you, we met back in 2007 at the Aboriginal Tourism Australia conference.
That's right. Yeah.
And I've been following you on Flickr, Twitter, and Facebook. And we'll get to Adam Goods in a bit. But you know, here's the other blog: 10 things to consider when traveling in the Australian outback.
That's the one.
It just, brilliant, just brilliant. And again, in your most recent one, what makes an exceptional Aboriginal experience exceptional? Again, is just again must reading for IPW5. Now, but 1 second, and you can see that, right?
Yep, I can see that.
Okay, so we're going to direct people to that.
Yeah.
I want to take questions from people, and we're having a person listening in, Camille.
Yes.
Von Neer. Wonderful discourse. I'm listening in. 1 second. I'm listening in with enthusiasm about the part we're in now, talking about Aboriginal art. I'm wondering how much could be gained by limiting commissions charged by middlemen and organizations that are involved in the marketing. What's your response?
Look, I think that there is definitely a possibility of that. Just 1 sec.
Please.
Yeah, no, definitely. What we've had to do is we've had to look at how to minimise that. And like, I have no connection with the Aboriginal art industry. As an Aboriginal commercial tour operator, my primary focus is tourism. But what I do know from being connected is that there are now measures to make sure that commissions are limited. And you can sort the wheat from the chaff, because there are good Aboriginal art galleries that provide fair commission and pricing, and there are ones which are not so good. Some of the art galleries I've actually been made aware of through my role are ones who are doing 100% markup on artworks, which, I mean, not only does it it do the artist a disservice, but it also does the art gallery itself a disservice, because no one's going to pay double the price for a piece of art. People now are pretty familiar with the art industry, so they know what is a fair price. They also know who are the renowned artists and who are the emerging artists. For example, in Ceduna, in South Australia,
1 second.
there is an amazing...
1 second. Can you turn your video back on?
Video? I can. Right. Try that.
We're just trying to figure out. We're just trying to figure out how to keep you ungarbled. But tell us more about this. Yeah. Tell us more, please.
In Ceduna in South Australia, there's an Aboriginal art co-op, and the Aboriginal art co-op that's there has got an amazing artist who is just emerging. He's won a number of awards, including a South Australian Aboriginal State Award, and he has presented and displayed some of his art in some fairly esteemed places. So we know now that the price of his art is starting to rise because he's a sought after artist. However, new artists, you know, you can actually, you know, negotiate pricing with them. So that's the difference between the esteemed and the renowned artists and the emerging ones. Now, anyway, what I was getting on was because of the way that the industry was unregulated. This is the art industry about 25, 30 years ago. Non-Aboriginal people were passing off fraudulent pieces of art as genuine Aboriginal art and making a premium. Now, the analogy is that this is now happening in Aboriginal tourism. So what we have is the case where we have genuine Aboriginal tour companies, and they are fighting against a tidal wave of non-Aboriginal commercial tour operators who are selling Aboriginal product, and most of the time not even having the moral decency to employ or engage with local Aboriginal communities in the delivery of those products. I'll just stop there so you can digest what I've said.
Thank you so much. And you know, it's a story that repeats itself around the world.
Yeah. When I spoke to the South Australian Tourism Commission about this, because my business was starting to suffer, and you know, I'm no what's the word? I'm not a backyarder in this. At the time, I was fully qualified, fully accredited, and you know, by 2009 was sitting on my 13th tourism award. So, as well as being inducted in the Tourism Hall of Fame. So, I was on the state's peak tourism body. I was also on the Tourism Australia's Tourism Champions program. And despite all of this, we were still suffering because we couldn't compete against the larger tour operators to large numbers of people at a much cheaper rate. Now, do you want to continue?
I do. I'm just, you know, I appreciate this. And here's just kind of waiting to see if things get garbled again or not, and it's all good so far. Just a reminder, our viewers, we have